Hey good people, welcome to the channel. I'm Musically Malnourished and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. Today, we're checking out the 2024 album from Fontaines D.C. called Romance. This was voted in from our Chef's Kiss tier on Patreon. They help shape what we listen to on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then everybody that's a Patreon member helps shape what we listen to on Wednesdays. So thank you so much for suggesting this. I know nothing about Fontaines D.C., so this should be fun. The only thing I see here is that they're Irish. We're going to get in, give each track a listen, make a few comments along the way, but I'll be keeping notes in my handy dandy notebook. That way after each track we can talk about the things that stand out and see what other information we can find. If you want to go to a specific song, you can find the timestamps in the description or just press play and hang out with us. This is track 1, which is also the title track, called Romance. Ooh. Cool vibes, man.
Into the darkness again. In with the pigs in the pen. God knows I love you. Screws in my head. I will be beside you till you're dead.
I was expecting like a scream.
Deep in the night I confide that maybe my goodness has died. I prayed for your kindness, had on a spit, and maybe romance is a place. Yeah, maybe romance is a place. Yeah, maybe romance is a place for me and you and you and
Okay, I don't know where their place of romance is, but mine doesn't sound like that. Man, such a cool sound. I'm really excited to hear what else that they do on this album. It doesn't, now granted, I am musically malnourished, but it has such an older feel to it from some of the stuff that we've been through. So it's cool, this being in 2024 and still having this kind of older feel to it. And so, man, I did not expect this from the first song called Romance. I loved that line, hard on a spit. So we'll get in and see what kind of romance is going on in this album and if it kind of carries this heavy tone. But this says the title track, Fontaines' fourth album. The album announcement came in conjunction with a 90-second snippet of the track posted across the band's social media pages. Song was debuted on May 2024. Okay. Cool. Here's what Fontaines said. Tom Cole Said, this is one that we wrote really late at night in the studio. It just fell out of us. It was one of those real moments of feeling right. That's the first track on the album. It's kind of like a palate cleanser for everything that's come before. It's like the opening scene. I feel like every time we've done a record, there's been one tune that's always stuck out like this is our opening gambit. That's got to be such a great feeling to just know that. Like, yeah, this is it. And I love the idea he's saying a palate cleanser for what came before. Obviously, the music from the previous 3 albums that they've done. And it's like, all right, let's reset. We're doing something new. I think there's one producer on this album, James Ford. So there's probably a very cohesive sound all throughout. But look at this, dude. James Ford crushing it with Arctic Monkeys. Well, Florence and the Machine, that's awesome. We have another Florence and the Machine album coming that somebody sponsored I'm excited about because I really love Dance Fever. So yeah, he's done a ton with Arctic Monkeys. Alex Turner, I think I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar with. All right. Do they have any connection to Arctic Monkeys? He's done some with Gorillaz. Just that there's sometimes members of groups that do different projects. I wonder if any of the members are connected with Arctic Monkeys. Maybe we'll look real quick. Is Fontaines D.C. connected with Arctic Monkeys? Okay. They're connected through professional touring, mutual admiration, shared record producer, personal crossover. Okay, so they've done stuff together, but it's not like Fontaines D.C. members shared that musician Beck told them Alex Turner of Arctic Monkeys is a massive fan of their work. Is Alex Turner related to... Oh, it's James Ford. Sorry, I thought the producer was James Turner. Okay. So not like direct members. Album of the year pending. All right. Great opener. Really setting the mood. Let's see what they have next. This is track number 2, titled Starburster. Another dark tone. Oh. Turn it up. Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna hit your business if it's momentary. I wanna talk with a gag if it's a bottle or bag. I wanna strike with the sack, I need the fan from it. I want a shot in the dark, I wanna make the mac. I wanna lift the yak, I call the ends on it. I wanna take the truth, whatever lands on it. My God-given insanity, it depends on it. How I feel, how I feel, how I feel. I wanna kill all the hand and a turned up challenger. I wanna keep all of your charm in a canister. Do you inspire like the same bit salager? I'm the pig on the Chinese calendar. I got a shallow like a 5'8" caliber. I wanna move like a new salamander. I live a carry on, who's a real scavenger. It's my tyranny keeping me from me.
me for the day, for the life that you suffer to come by.
I'll drop us back in, please. That dirty.
Never wanting, only wonder to live out of reach. Sloping family, short to tall. 1 to 3, swallow the key. In their footprints, I will follow. I'm gonna hit your
Yes.
business if it's momentary business. I'm gonna hit your business if it's momentary business. I'm gonna hit your business if it's momentary business. I'm gonna hit your business if it's momentary business.
They laughed at the end of the track too. Oh my goodness, dude, that was incredible. Very like rap-like. Reminds me a lot of 21 Pilots, which if you've been around for any length of time, you know, a big 21 Pilots fan. Oh gosh, dude, I was not expecting that at all, and I'm so glad they dropped back down. It was like really nice. And then I was like, oh, bring it back down into that dirty. Okay. Now, as far as what's going on in this song, there was a lot that was said in here. So we'll look at several of the verses. The chorus was, I'm going to hit your business, even if it's momentary blissness, or if it's momentary blissness, sounds to me, and there's some slang in here, I'd imagine as well. Like, I'm going to hit you up, even if it's just for momentary bliss. Maybe this has to do with the relationship that could be going on within this album. Okay, let's see here. Okay, first single. Okay, let's see if we get some nice. Always love it when we can hear from the artist. The songwriting process for the track. Tom Cole said, Grian, the singer, wrote most of this tune on his laptop, so there are lots of chopped up strings and stuff. It was quite a hip-hop creative process. It's probably the song that is furthest away from the old us on this album. This tune was the first single. We always try and shock people a bit. It was probably quite a shocking thing for people who were more of the Six Music dad heads to hear. Six Music? Is that another album of theirs? It's fun to do that. Speaking of the strings, I really loved the strings, and it sounds like there's probably some other things on it, some processing things on it to get that sound, but the long pulls were really good. Let's see. Grin said, I think I felt a sense of immobility when I was writing the lyrics for that. I actually had the lyrics written, and I was unsatisfied with them, and I was on the way to record them, and I had a bit of a freak out. I sat down and texted the producer, James Ford, and said, listen, I can't do this right now. I have to postpone. I just sat down and redid them because it just wasn't what was inside. It wasn't what it was meant to be, you know? But yeah, it got there. Well, I'm glad. I'd be curious to know what the first version was. It all kind of came out in one go. Sort of the writing process it was sort of the writing experience of listening to yourself as opposed to expressing something. That's cool. It was just like what was already there. It is interesting sometimes, you know, when you're trying to write something, you're like trying to get it all together in your head and make it come out just right. Sometimes, and maybe this is more of what he's speaking here too as well, is you just gotta like just write. Just get something out and let it, and even if you scrap some of it or pull, you're better off sometimes than, because you may have this idea at times and it's like, okay, let me get down, let me structure it all right. But other times, like when you're just not getting that, it's just like throw up on the page and see where it goes. So yeah, it's gonna be James Ford all throughout this album. We're so back. That real music. Music videos wild. Okay. We'll do music videos, live performances, all that up on Patreon. Let's take a look at a few of these. It may feel bad. Okay, that's what he was saying. So, yes. Okay, so that seems like it's connected to this, even if it's momentary blissness. So the gasps heard at the end of each line refer to the gasps or quick breaths of someone experiencing a panic attack and express the story of a panic attack that Grin Chatton had in London tube station, which inspired the song. Interesting. So is the whole thing expressing a panic attack? Doctors and pharmacists say things like this before selling medical drugs while not noting side effects, specifically with antidepressants. I want to see you alone. I want to sharp the stone. I want to bounce the bone. I want to mess with it. I want to lay the devil. Deville is a famous watch by the Swiss company. Lay the Deville means putting down the Deville. Maybe before you're going to do something that might damage it. I don't know, man. I'm getting very sexual overtones in this. The whole crew on the sill. I want the preacher and pill. He's drawing an antique comparison between tranquilizing effects of religion and those of narcotics. I want to bless with it. I want to head to a mass and get cast in it. That's funnier than any A class, isn't it? The previous line is funnier than any class A, which refers to class A drugs. I want to talk with the clown who has apologies down. Pay him £300 to take a class in it. The clown who has apologies down is someone who regularly goes to confession. Pay him $300 to take a class, and it means he wants to use your man as a stunt double for the drug counseling course being remanded to the H. This is a long thing here, dude. The narrator may want to pay the actor, the clown, $300 to learn from the clown. That's what I was thinking when I heard it. Like to learn how to have the apologies down. I want to bite the phone. I want to bleed the tone. I want to see you alone. I want to straight the shark and find me somewhere to park, like the light when it's dark. A few stars about it make it feel like peace in a way. A complimentary round constellation got a twist in it. Batum is the shark constellation for the native islanders of the Torres Strait. The constellation follows a twisted line of stars in the dark skies north of Australia. Picking up his comment, I believe we're both right in that lyricist Grin is a genius befitting this website's name. These lines refer to Bidem and the starry plow because they're both the same constellation of the same 7 stars that we in the States call the Big Dipper, emblazoned on the flag waved by the Irish Citizens Army during the 1916 Easter Rising. Okay. I mean, it is called Starburster. For a GPO and all the hits in it. GPO is short for General Post Office, famous as a site of the rebels' headquarters during the Easter Rising in 1916. What is the Easter Rising in 1916? And as always with Genius, it's like I don't take everything as fact, just kind of exploring what other people are saying about it. Let's see. The Easter Rising of 1916 was an armed rebellion staged by Irish Republicans against British rule, lasting for 6 days from April 24th to April 29th. Led by figures like Patrick Pearse and James Connolly, the insurrection aimed to establish an independent Irish republic. Patrick Pearse publicly read the proclamation of the Irish Republic outside the GPO declaring independence from Great Britain. And I'll let you know, I know nothing about a lot of world events and especially the politics with Ireland. Let's see. The British military quickly mobilized, bringing in troops and artillery to bombard rebel-held positions across the city. Outnumbered, low on ammunition, and facing severe destruction and civilian casualties, Pearse issued an unconditional order to surrender in 1960 on April 29th. Oh, and then there were British authorities court-martialed and executed 15 of the main leaders, including Pearse and Connolly. While the initial rebellion had little public support, caused local anger over the destruction of Dublin, the secret executions created a massive political backlash. The executed leaders became martyrs, shifting public opinion dramatically toward republicanism and setting the stage for the Irish War of Independence and the eventual creation of the Irish state. Oh, that's interesting. And I wonder, years and years ago, I watched Downton Abbey, and I know that there seemed like some issues between the family, and then like one of the daughters falls in love with like the driver or a guy who works in the house who is Irish. And I wonder if that has anything to do with it. So Downton Abbey time period? Maybe. Downton Abbey is set between 1912 and 1930. Because it seemed like there were some issues. I think even their daughter maybe wanting to get involved. It was their Sybil, I think was her name. The youngest daughter wanted to get involved in some of the events that were going on. So, I don't know. Maybe I want to talk with a gag if it's a bottle or bag. I want to strike with the sag. I need the friends from it. Dude, Screen Actors Guild is a union for actors, artists, performers. From 14th July to 23, the SAG went on strike. Okay, I remember those events. The narrator of Starburster seems to be putting on a performance in order to survive the motions of daily life, making him an actor. As an actor, he wants to join the other actors of the world on strike in order to attain a better way to live. Wow. I want a shot in the dark. I want to make the mark. I want to live the arc. I call the ends on it. I want to take the truth without a lens on it. Okay, don't distort the truth. My God-given insanity, it depends on it. How I feel, I want to keel, excuse me. I want to keel over harder than a turned-up Challenger. I want to keep all your charm in a canister. Do you inspire like the same did Salinger? J.D. Salinger was an American author most famous for writing The Catcher in the Rye, which follows the story of a boy after he was expelled from prep school, then searches for the truths against the phoniness of the adult world. Similar theme to the song. I'm the pig on the Chinese calendar. He was born in 1995, which is the year of the pig on the lunar Chinese calendar. Considering the status of the pig in agrarian society in the past, people would bring out a year's worth of pigs to have a rare, sumptuous meal only for New Year's Day. The pig has been used to symbolize wealth. I want to move like a new salamander. Why is this capitalized? Salamander was a symbol of eternal life and resurrection in the Middle Age. Since there are multiple references to contemporary literature in the song, it can be related to Ray Bradbury's 1953 novel Fahrenheit 451, where salamanders are used as a metaphor. It could also be a play on words of Harry Potter's outsider protagonist, Newt Scamander, excuse me. Bonus connection. Fontaine is a surname of an American wizarding family in J.K. Rowling's writings. I love the carry-on who's a real scavenger. It's moral tyranny keeping me from thee. So then we hit this bridge. Hit me for the day, for the light that you suffered to come by. Take me to my sky. Never wanting, only wonder, to live out of reach, sloping family, short to tall, 1 to 3, swallow the key, in their footprints I follow. I don't know, man. I guess at first I thought that this was having to do with like the idea of being with somebody. I do see the themes in here of like wanting what's true, not what's phony. Even the person who is like the clown who has apologies down. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let's continue through the album. This is track 3 titled Here's the Thing. A lot of breathing in this album.
There are sentiments you'd like to tell, but if you tell them what the real story is, I'm afraid it wouldn't play that well. Oh no. So here's the thing, I need commotion, I know your thoughts, they're mine as well. I know you're right, I know you're right, girl. And if you change your mind, I will be waiting to keep you paying with mine as well. I know you're right, I know you're right, girl. How people made to shine, it never makes me happy anymore. Always seeing in my mind, and talking just provokes it. So here's the thing, I know you're watching, I feel the pain, it's mine as well. I know you're right, I know you're right, girl. To be anesthetized and crave emotion, so beautiful, to hurt so well. I know you're right, I know you're right, girl. So here's the thing, I know you're watching.
I want to point out one thing they did here that was really cool. They came in just a little bit off on this. So listen coming into the I Know You're Right. Or here. That little hang up. I know you're right. I know you're right. It's cool. Little thing I thought was really interesting. Okay, so I'm getting the feeling that their songwriting is going to be a bit abstract. So let's get in and see what we can find out here. Lead singer described the song as an anxious tune that twists and turns in what it wants, back and forth between pain and numbness. And he mentioned anesthesia in here. Tom said this was written in the last hour of being in the studio. We had maybe 12 or 13 tracks ready to go and just started jamming, and it presented itself in an hour. Guitarist Connor Curley had this really gnarly 90s piercing tone, and it just went from there. Yeah, that must be that wow, which is so great, man. It's really smooth listening on the ears as well. Okay, people made to chime. Not many annotations on this one. So here's the thing, I know you're watching. I feel your pain, it's mine as well. I know you're right, and if you change your mind, I will be waiting. I know your thoughts, they're mine as well. I know you're right. Shock and pretty is the face you're making. Is there a sentiment you'd like to tell? But if you tell them what the real story is, I'm afraid it wouldn't play that well. So here's the thing, I need commotion. I know your thoughts, they're mine as well. To keep your pain with mine, I will be waiting to keep your pain with mine as well. It almost sounds like somebody, you know, that maybe they're hesitant to be together, but he's kind of saying like, I'm waiting, and we share the same feelings. Aren't people made to chime? It never makes me happy anymore. See, I wonder if this is like again, slang that maybe I don't know. Obviously, with them being Irish. It always singing in my mind, and talking just provokes it. It almost sounds like people made to chime, people made to chime in, people made to say things. I don't know, or yeah. So here's the thing. I know you're watching to be, I know you're right. I know you're right to be anesthetized. Come on. Load in for us. Cool. Fail on there we go. Okay. Let's see. From the lore, watching music video songs on romance, the girl's parents force her to stop seeing a guy she loves. She's craving happiness or any emotion as life is numb for her. So here's the thing. I know you're watching. Yeah, I mean, the main thing that I feel like I draw from this track is this sense that like he's ready and waiting for her if she wants to take the step toward him. Okay, let's go to track 4. This is Desire. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you want access to hundreds of hours of additional content from dozens of artists, then check out my Patreon. That's where we host music videos, live performances, exclusive live streams, behind the scenes content, documentaries, and you get the ability to help vote on the albums we listen to here on the channel. Patreon is the best way to support this channel, and you can get access to the entire library, past, present, and future for just $5. Join the amazing community that we're building over there, and I try to make it worth your time and your money. All right, let's get back into it. Gonna slow it up a bit. I love this. Dude, this is one of my favorites on the album so far. I feel like I have a good grasp of what's being communicated here. It sounds like this idea of kind of being programmed from the beginning, maybe like in a sense that your life feels very controlled and you're just stuck in what people want you to be, and it requires a desire to change, to break out of that. And he mentions this hard to find you because of the mist you've acquired. So it almost sounds like if a person is not necessarily who they truly are, it's almost as if this mist is around them. It's clouded them. And it's hard for people that truly want to find them to find them, because it's almost like they're just, you can't see them. Or is in a different way, if somebody presents a kind of fake view of who they are, but you really want to, you just catch this glimpse of who they truly are, what they truly want, but they're kind of stuck in what they feel like they're supposed to be. And then he keeps mentioning this 24. I'm assuming that has to do with like 24 hours a day. What does he say? All 24 retching with desire. So I'm curious about the firefighter turning bodies to glass line, but let's check this out. It says this has been knocking around for ages. It's one of those tunes that took so many goes to get to where it was meant to sit. It started as a band set up, and then we went really electronic with it. Then in the studio, we took it all back. It took a while for it to sit properly. Grin did 20 or 30 vocal layers on that. He really arranged it in an amazing way. Carlos and Grin were the main string arrangers on the record. This was the first record where we actually got a string quartet in. Before, people would just send it over. So being able to sit in the room and watch a string quartet take center stage on a song was amazing. That's awesome. All right, lots of music videos for this album. Major White Pony vibe. Okay, not familiar with White Pony. Let's get up and take a look at a few of these lines. See, deep they've designed you from cradle to pyre, in the mortal attire. Desire, desire, it's so hard to find you. The mist you've acquired has you turned to a liar. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty on with what's being communicated here. The park, the firefighters turned their bodies to glass. Firefighters are often looked upon as heroes in society and perceived as a symbol of hope, as juxtaposed to the lifelessness and fragility of glass. The image of a firefighter turning into glass enforces the bleak idea of a society where even symbols of hope and light. And in the park, firefighters turned their bodies to glass. I didn't get the feeling that it was talking about the firefighters turning to glass. Because even this, I see them driving into nothing, where nothing is sure. They drown their wishes in the fountain like their fathers before. So, you know, a fountain being a place where you would make a wish, you have a dream, you have even somewhat kid-like, you know? And instead of like casting your wish in, this idea of drowning your wish in the fountain like their fathers before, like not pressing forward, not fulfilling the thing that you want to fulfill, but kind of just like everybody else, putting it on the back burner, and again, not fully being who you're meant to be. But with the firefighter line, I felt like it was just saying something about, maybe like, I wonder if it has something to do with like if a person was like burning, you know? And when you think of burning, you think of passion, you think of heat. A person's on fire. Come on, NBA Jam now. And if somebody's hosing you down, it's like it turns you into this glass, this very fragile thing, and just like rains on your parade in a sense. I don't know. Almost like turns you into this statue. That's my best go with that. Very cool song though. I love the message in there. Okay, let's get into track 5, titled In the Modern World.
I feel alive in the city that you like.
That you like?
And wait for the day to go dreaming right by. Seems so hard not to be free.
And it sounds even connected to the previous song.
When you walk right beside me in the modern world, I don't feel anything. Modern world, I don't feel bad. Charlie, I don't feel bad. I feel alive in the city
It's beautiful.
you despise. And wait for the day when you come riding on by. Seems so hard just to be. If it matters, you complete me. Yeah. In the modern world, I don't feel anything. In the modern world,
It's very catchy.
I don't feel bad. Charlie, I don't feel bad. In the modern world, I don't feel. No, I don't feel bad.
Oh, such a great tone on that guitar.
I feel alive in the city that you like. In the modern world, I don't feel anything. In the modern world, I don't feel bad. Charlie, so don't feel bad. In the modern world, I don't feel. No, I don't feel. I don't feel bad. Charlie, yeah. Wow. I don't feel bad.
I don't know why I get this kind of like desperado type sound from that. It sounds like there's a tambourine in there, but even in my brain, it's almost like the boot spurs and this I don't know, man. I picture the desert for some reason. Yeah, man, I'm curious because he says, come away with me and Sal. And I wonder if that's a connection to Salamander from one of the previous songs. And I feel like there's a change up in even some of the way that he says things in the first verse versus the second verse about the city and passing by. So we'll take a look at that. I get the feeling that it's almost like in the modern world, he's talking about kind of the rigid systems of the world or the rat race type thing and just feeling disconnected, which kind of ties back to the previous song, right? People feeling like they have to fit so tightly in certain systems. And it's just like, no, this is what everybody should do or how everybody should go. And him feeling like I don't belong here. I feel like almost like, right, your spirit just doesn't fit within maybe what's expected of you at times. And so, yeah, there's a lot of interesting things in here about him saying, you might be the reason, but I am the law. So let's see what we can find out. It says in an interview with Irish Times, bass player Conor Deegan III explained that in the modern world was influenced by both Lana Del Rey and Jack Kerouac's hugely influential 1957 novel On the Road. The song's reference to Sal refers to the book's protagonist, Sal Paradise. It says that song, I get visions of On the Road. Driving through the desert. Okay, hey, come on. Got a little bit desert in America. Beat up 1950s car, right? They stop into the motel for some warm cans of beer. The AC isn't working. The fan is spinning half speed. All that stuff. On the Road is considered one of the first truly modern novels of the 20th century, exploring themes of longing, loss, and existentialism in a fast-changing world which perfectly plays into the theme of the song. It's a book about death, the search for something meaningful to hold on to, the famous search for it, a truth larger than the self, which of course is never found. At the majority of their live shows since they started playing this song, Grin has changed the line, seems so hard not to be free. When you walk right beside me too, you and me, Sal, can go free if we like. It says Grin wrote the song when he was in LA. He was really inspired by Lana Del Rey and stuff like that. Hollywood, the glitz, the glamour, but it's actually this decrepit place. It's that whole idea of faded glamour. Somebody said a bit Lana Del Rey-esque. Well, that's fitting. This person said, come away with me and Sal. I promise you'll be in it. Could also be a reference to Starburster. I want to head to Mass and get cast in it. Promise of salvation is just as desperate here. Just as empty. Okay. So, Charlene. Let's take a look at that. Or even here, I feel alive in the city that you like and wait for the day to go dreaming right by. And then down here, I feel alive in the city you despise and wait for the day when you come riding on by. There's that kind of change up in these lines. Seems so hard not to be free when you walk right beside me. And the idea, like he seems to feel free by her. Seems so hard just to be. If it matters, you complete me. All right, no annotations on Charlene. I wonder what the connection with Charlene is, other than it. I mean, it seems like Charlene is the person, obviously the girl in the song. Come away with me and Sal. I promise you'll be in it. It's a reference to the character Sal Paradise. Could it be also a reference to my friend Sally from the song Jackie Down the Line? I mean, obviously there's this one because he directly mentions it. So maybe it's this idea of escaping, you know, and if in the book, which obviously I'm not very familiar with the book, but let's see, we'll find a little thing. I know it mentions some things about the book. Maybe we can just find a little synopsis. Okay, let's see. It's a novel inspired by his travels across the United States, widely regarded as a defining work of the post-war beat generation, following a group of friends living for the moment against a backdrop of jazz, poetry, and rebellion. So yeah, I think at least the heart of the song is he wants to escape. He wants her to come with him. We'll follow Sal the same way that Sal went and just, I guess, you know, explored and learned and grew to kind of break out of just this monotony of life. He's saying, come with me, like we can go, you know. Very cool, man. I'm loving a lot of the themes within this album. Let's go to track 6, titled Bug. A little different than Pearl Jam's Bugs.
Change my name to promise you, yeah. Dying inside cause I want you, yeah. Didn't I say I wanted to, yeah. Honey, I've changed before you, yeah. 28 years I coming to end. The rain chased me down the gully again. Now I'm higher than anyone here, and that ain't nothing on me, yeah. But baby, I swear it, I wanted to call, but on my way around I happened too far. She's a MUA, I can't icky haul. In a vanity mirror, we're losing it all. Where we shacked up swift, the van on the way. Catch the sweet rain, the side of a ray. In it, I reflected all of the day, and I will fade in the night, yeah. Will you apologize for the remainder of your life? Do you accept the charges? I promise to, yeah. Well, then she curls up with his favorite son. He's the ugliest man in heaven for one. As long as there's nobody feeling me there, then there ain't nothing on me. Yeah, yeah, they threw me out like I was a wedding bouquet. No, I can't quite remember what I had to say. Till I get higher than everyone here, but I will fade in the night, yeah. In the Chandler's corner, I promise to be gone. I almost felt the feeling that I wanted to, yeah. You thought I was here, but I'm farther than the sun. Silent as the feeling that I promised you, yeah. Well, I changed my name to promise you, yeah. It's easier than making apologies, yeah. Now I'm higher than anyone here, there ain't nothing on me, yeah.
Okay, not 100% sure what's going on there, but I don't know. To me, it kind of sounds like he mentions 28 years. I'm assuming is probably his age, but then he also says dirt has nothing on him, which, you know, you have the, I don't know, adage. I'm so bad at those. Like, is it a figure of speech? Is it an adage? If there's so many different things for it. The saying, old as dirt, because it makes it sound like, or even in the sense maybe the age thing, but also him being kind of like a bug. It almost seems like he has these experiences within this song, but he's not really somebody you can rely on. So I don't know. That's kind of what I get the feeling from it, but let's go see what we can find out. Like he's someone you can't really trust. Especially the idea of change my name to Promise You, but maybe he doesn't keep his promises. Silent as the feeling that I've promised you. This felt like a really easy song for us to write. That kind of buzzy, all of us in the same room tune. I really fought for this one to be on the record. I feel like with songs like that, trying to skew them and put a spin on them that they don't need is overwriting. If it feels right, then there's no point in laboring over it. That song is what it is, and it's great. It's going to be amazing live. It's interesting in all of these... hey, I recognize that guy. It's interesting in all of these explanations here. They don't really talk about the lyrics very much, which maybe that's on purpose, you know? They kind of leave some mystique to them. So Cranberries. I haven't heard anything from the Cranberries. Okay. Let's take a look a little bit. Actually, I want to look at a picture of the band, too. Fontaines D.C. Okay. Got one wild-haired guy. Makes sense. Okay, as far as a few of the lyrics here. Dying inside because I want you. Didn't say I wanted to heal. Honey, I changed before you. 28 years are coming to an end. Yeah, okay, his age. The rain chased me down the gully again. Now I'm higher than anyone here, and dirt ain't nothing on me. The narrator attempts to ignore or escape the consequences of his actions through substance abuse. I wanted to call, but on my way around I happened to fall. So yeah, it was like he was supposed to be maybe talking to one person, but then he found this other girl, and then he was with her. Well, now she curls up with his favorite son. He's the ugliest man in heaven for one. It's such an interesting line. In the charmless morning I promised to be gone. I almost felt the feeling that I wanted to. You thought I was here, but I'm further than the sun, son. So even that thought of like, you think that I'm here with you, but I'm not really. I'm already somewhere else. Or I wonder if it has to do with drug use. Like you think I'm here, but I'm high. Because he does mention obviously high a lot in the song. Okay, let's go to track 7, Motorcycle Boy. Such a warm sound on that guitar. The song's interesting because it kind of feels like it just builds and builds and builds and builds, but you don't ever get this resolve in it. The idea of a motorcycle boy, what it makes me think of is like a bad boy. You know, generally the motorcycle boy, especially using it in that way, not just like a motorcyclist, you know, or a guy that has a motorcycle, but a motorcycle boy typically is like the handsome guy who maybe is not the most faithful person, and they're also a bit transient. It makes me think of Gilmore Girls. For any of you out there that are Gilmore Girls fans, my wife loves Gilmore Girls, and so since we've been married, she's always played Gilmore Girls. It's like her comfort show. But you know, back in the day before we had kids or whatever, I bought the whole collection for her on DVD, and so she would have them in, like, it was just playing a lot in the background, and I really like it. So I know most all Gilmore Girls episodes. But the father in Gilmore Girls of the main girl, I just said I know Gilmore Girls, and now I can't. Rory, that's the girl's name. Her father, Chris, who's always kind of in and out, you know, and is never constant or consistent. He kind of just floats into town and floats out, and he rides a motorcycle. And so that's what it makes me think of. And even the idea of like, you rain, I snow is almost like we're not on the same page. And so let's see, like maybe she wants the idea of somebody wanting more commitment from somebody, but they're just a motorcycle boy. It says the song was inspired by Matt Dillon, younger brother of the motorcycle boy, in the 1983 film Rumblefish, is written by Grin for his brother. In an interview, he said, "I have a younger brother who has recently become very interested in poetry and literature. I see him as the character of Matt Dillon in the film, the younger brother of Mickey Rourke, who tries to find his way into life while his older brother is always away. I see my brother's interest in poetry and literature as his way of getting in touch with me. I wrote Motorcycle Boy for him. The line, 'All the life I've shown you will own you in time,' is a warning for him, since at the end, the life you live is the only life you have." Does he know the song's about him? No, because I don't want him to take it as condescending. I learned as much from him as he did from me. Interesting. So this one is inspired by the Smashing Pumpkins a bit. We actually recorded it 6 months before the rest of the album. This tune was the real genesis of the record and us finding a path and being like, okay, we can explore down here. That was one that really set the wheels in motion for the album, pun intended. It really informed where we were going. I would like a video. They crushed it on this album. So let's see. I believe this line refers to the "You Rain, I Snow," refers to Grin's incapacity of feeling the same emotion as his partner. The rain represents his partner's emotions, whereas the snow represents his own coldness, and transmits the idea of being immobilized, numb, incapable of feeling the same emotions. Sounds like "Always Say Goodbye," which ties into the theme of misalignment, departure. Okay, very cool. Let's get into track 8, Sundowner. Oh, the bass is so smooth. Love that. So smooth. It's just such a smooth sound, man. And it does even kind of evoke the feeling of like a dream-like state. I don't know, I get just this kind of common theme through this album of it just feeling very transient, very searching. Even saying I have not belonged to any setting sun, just like he's not staying in one place and he's on some sort of exploration. Maybe the romance is life, you know, in treating life as this romance versus this systemized? Yeah. I keep saying the same word. This systemic thing or this system, you know, it just feels like this common theme of free flowing. So I don't know. This says it's an ode to friendship. First Fontaines D.C. song not to feature Grin Chatton on lead vocals. On this album, we were probably coming from more singular points than we have before. A lot of the lads brought in tunes that were pretty much there. I was sharing a room with Curly in London, and he was working on this really shoegaze-inspired tune for ages. I think he always thought that Grin would sing it, but when he put down the guide vocals in the studio, it sounded great. We're all like, oh, you're singing it now. That's cool. Always great to have multiple band members that, you know, can carry a song. Reminds me of Slow Dive. This annotation says, the lyrics, you know I'm not cynical, I'd give in to a smile, shows the writer is talking about how easy he trusts people. Cynical is often used to describe someone who distrusts others. As for giving into a smile is often a gesture we all give to strangers, friends, parents, and partners. It's something we all do, so it's basically like the writer saying that they will associate with it with something positive and will give in to evil if it's masked with kindness. Sadness in the soul, I dreamed it long ago, but I have not belonged to any setting sun. A destination low, and I'd hate to see you go. Now that I can feel it, it's faster if I call you. Okay. Let me know any insight you have on that. Track 9, this is Horseness Is the Whatness. What? Horse said what?
understanding basics, and never let your guard down, and always leave a cat out. But always, the word is not so friendly. It brings some fucking baggage. The word that's used for lying. I never I would trust. Sticks around for some, while always stays for none.
Will someone find out what the word is that makes the world go round? 'Cause I thought it was love, but some say that it has to be choice. I read it in some book or an old packet of smokes. Basics, I guess I get the gist. There's not that much to miss. You choose or you exist.
And they create some really interesting soundscapes. The album as a whole is a little more melancholy than I was expecting. Not a problem at all. Just kind of with the way it led off and early on, which they, still have 2 tracks, so it could, have a little bit more punch with some of the songs. But I definitely was expecting it to be like right in your face. That line, choose or you exist, again, kind of tying into more themes that I felt throughout this album, is feels like this kind of idea of like live, choose, be purposeful, don't just exist, because that's the reality, right? There's a quote, we all end up somewhere, but few of us end up somewhere on purpose, is the idea of being purposeful with what you're doing and how you're living. Make choices, don't just get caught up in the flow of that. There's like one part that's good about being in a flow of life, but I think you can understand what I'm saying. If you just kind of hop in the river and just go where it takes you versus making choices, then you end up just existing. Horseness is the whatness of all horse is a quote in James Joyce's Ulysses, of which the song title draws its name from. These guys draw a lot from literature and film. It's cool. The song was written by a guitarist whose inspiration came from reading Joyce novels aloud to his infant daughter. Precisely the title appears in the episode of Celia and Charybdis, where Stephen Dedalus delivers a lecture about Shakespeare and Hamlet at the National Library of Ireland. FDC's fondness for James Joyce first appeared in their track Boys in the Better Land off their first album. The quote is, "In the radio's all about a runaway model with a face like sin and a heart like a James Joyce novel." There's also their song Bloomsday from their third album, which references the celebration of Bloomsday, a celebration of the life James Joyce observed annually in Dublin. Tom said, Carlos sent me a demo of that tune ages and ages ago. It's just him on an acoustic, and it was such a powerful lyric. I think it's amazing. We had to kind of deconstruct it and build it back up again in terms of making it fit for the record. Carlos had made 3 or 4 drum loops for me, and it was a really fun experience to try and recreate that. I don't know how we're going to play it live, but we'll sort it out. I love how they seem to think a lot about their live shows. O'Connell became enamored with Joyce's phrase while on holiday last summer with his baby daughter. There's this passage where the Ulysses protagonist, Leopold Bloom, goes to the library, and there are all these intellectuals discussing Plato and Shakespeare and whatever. Bloom says something like, unsheath your dagger definitions. Horseness is the whatness of all horse. Connell laughs with delight at the words brilliance. It's the first break you have from all this intellectual overcompensation. Okay. From the other characters in the scene, I just fell in love with the simplicity of it. What makes a horse a horse? It's hoarseness. That's it. So it's like saying something plainly versus all of this pontificating. Horseness is the whatness of all horse. That's cool. Okay. I had no idea what the line meant. Okay. Let's go to track 10, titled Death Kink. I love the inspiration for so many of their songs, man.
When you came into my life, I was lost, and you took that shine to me at what cost. You recognized the smell, human pain, said I'd learn to love the chain. It was shit, battered. I caved in, my promise was cluttered. Amazing stars from the dream. I made a promise and I killed it. Shit, battered. I live meretricious. You shattered. Amazing stars from the dream. I made a promise. When you said I'd taste like sleep, I was dead. When will you step in the room out of your head? You said that I was bad, that was fine. When you said I could be good, I wouldn't have it. There's a certain kind of air in the smoke. Some I'm out to do in the joke for it to make you laugh. Ha ha ha. Teary faces know the trap. Shit, battered. I caved in. My promise was cluttered. Amazing stars from the drink. I made a promise and I killed it. Shit, battered. A whole life meretricious. You shattered. Amazing stars from the dreamer. I made a promise I will kill it. Shit, battered. I caved in. My promise was cluttered. Amazing stars from the drink. I made a promise.
Okay, this one definitely seems to center around either drug use or alcohol, and maybe giving in when he made a promise to somebody else or to himself about not using or not drinking again. Because you had this caved in, made a promise, killed it. Curious about the line, learn to love the chain. And that line was really great. There's some air in the smoke, whereas generally there's smoke in the air, but maybe there's so much smoke around that there's like some air within all the smoke. Let's see, there's no song bio, but this says, again, this came from one of the jams of us setting up for a studio Don't worry, I'm okay. Session. It's another one of those band in a room jamming out kind of tunes. On tour in America, we really honed where everything should sit in the set. It's going to be such a fun tune to play live. We started playing it already, and it's been so sick. Yeah, some of my favorite artists do that. They put the idea of the live show first. Like, how's this going to work in a live setting? How are people going to react to it? How's the energy going to be? I don't know. I really, really like bands that think about that and their fans and the audience and all of that first. Sounds straight out of Doolittle. I mean that in a good way. And it has this manic feel to it as well. When you came into my life, I was lost. You took that shine to me at what cost? It was at a low point when the person came to him, casting shine to them, providing some sense of direction. But now he realizes the consequences. I wonder if it's a person. Or if it's alcohol or drugs. You recognize the smell, human pain, said I'd learned to love the chain. Sometimes relationships become idealized. In some cases, love turns into hate. This feeling of being chained down, you fail to see the person for who they are. You try and convince yourself to love the chain. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's in a negative relationship, but sometimes what seems like chains to us are, I don't know a good way to say it. It's almost, maybe it's better in this way. There are guardrails and lines on the road for a reason. And you could look at those lines and feel like the restriction is to take something away from you. But the reality is the restriction is to give something to you. It's to provide a safe place to drive in. And if you're all over the place and in other lanes, then ultimately you're leading yourself to destruction and maybe somebody else as well. And so, yes, there can definitely be relationships that are chains, and being able to recognize that is important. But, you know, in some ways it is the confinement that is for our good, you know. Some people could look at marriage as a chain because they would rather have the freedom to come and go as they please or be with other people or things like that. But if you can see the beauty in marriage, the ring that some people could say is a chain, I think is more of a putting walls around a garden. And in that garden, you can work and find joy and create something beautiful. Whereas you recognize there are walls that you've put in place, but they're there for the flourishing of the relationship. Made a promise and I killed it. Resentment grows bigger and bigger until one of the two breaks the promise. It's a happy ending, really. I meant to kill that promise. It means realizing the game and starting to break the bond. I don't know this word. Meretricious. Of or relating to a prostitute having the nature of prostitution. Falsely attractive, superficially significant. I live, okay. You shattered. Maze and stars from my dreamin', I made a promise. So maybe, yeah, feeling tied down and he had these dreams that now he feels are shattered. When you said I taste like sleep, I was dead. When will you step in the room out of your head? You said I was bad, that was fine. When you said I could be good, I wouldn't have it. So it's like, it's fine if you call me bad, but if you say I could be good, I'm having none of it. It almost feels like, again, to my thoughts, whether it's right on the song or not, the Motorcycle Boy, you know? It's like, oh yeah, that's who I am, but if you say, no, I could stay, I can be committed, like, nah, that's not me. Certain kind of air in the smoke, must be some amount of truth in the joke. Teary faces know the craft. Amazing stars from the drink, the effect of being under the influence of alcohol, which references the previous line of amazing stars from my dreamin'. Grin is unable to escape the shackles that the effects of alcohol. See, this is where the annotations get a little crazy because obviously some of it's centered on a relationship, but then this one's pointing out like, oh, the song's about alcohol. I don't know. To me, that was my first gut. was feeling like it had to do with alcohol or it had to do with drug use. And maybe the chain is the being connected to this addiction, and then it makes a lot of promises but doesn't deliver on those promises, ultimately leads to pain. And a lot of time addiction finds people who are in pain, which is what it says at the beginning. You recognize the smell, human pain. And that breaking the promise is, you know, having a promise that you're not going to continue to drink or you're not going to keep this addiction, but then you break that promise, you shatter it. I don't know. Let me know y'all's thought. And even the title Death Kink, having a kink for death. Like feeling continually drawn to something or attracted to something that you know is not good for you. All right, let's see how they close out this album. I know there's a deluxe edition. We're going to stick with the original album here. This is track 11, titled Favorite. Ever since starting this channel, I have fallen back in love with physical media, vinyls and CDs in particular, which is why I'm really excited to be an affiliate with vinyl.com. You can browse an extensive library of beautiful vinyls, CDs, accessories, and more. And as a partner of this channel, vinyl.com is offering 10% off for anyone who uses my code malnourished at checkout. You can also check the description for a link or scan the QR code on the screen.
Did you know I can claim the dreamer from the dream? Make you feel everything you've never even seen. Yeah, it's been a long. You were my favorite for a long time. Stitch and fall, faces rearranged. You will see beauty
Man, I thought it was a great closer, kind of bringing the energy up, but keeping that very smooth sound that they have throughout this album. Had a very summery feel to me. Now, as far as what's going on within this song, I'm really not certain. I don't want to point everything toward like drug use. But I guess on a first listen, it kind of feels like it continues to carry some themes from the previous song. This idea of claiming the dreamer from the dream. I really like their songwriting because it's not necessarily, I mean, I guess it could work either way. If you take a dream from the dreamer, but rather claim the dreamer from the dream, steal the person, not just steal their dream, steal the person out of the dream. And if you were to tie that to drug use or alcohol, you know, it could seize the dreamer, seize the person from the plans and the hopes and things that they had. The idea of 35 hours coming down sounds like being on a binge to me. And even the idea, I think it was like light on the sidewalk. And you also get some of the feeling of the themes in here of, you know, adventure and wanting to press out, because he talks about the city blink and you feel it change and how fast the city moves, and even him talking about every day getting a year older. I don't know. And then you had a mention of Thatcher in here, and I'm not sure what that is, so we'll take a look. Second single, this is one of my favorite on the albums for sure. Favorite is, no pun intended, the band's favorite song they've written to date, as well as being one of their most personal. The personal nature of the song is further compounded by its accompanying music video, which is laced with footage of all 5 band members in their youth. Favorite was another one we wrote when we were rehearsing. It happened pretty much as it is now, which I guess, you know, hopefully I'll get more context to even some of these songs through the videos. We were kind of nervous about touching it again for the album because that first recording was so good. That's the song that hung around in our camp for the longest. When we write songs on tour, often we end up getting bored of them over time, but Favorite really stuck. We had a lot of conversations about the order on this album, and I felt it was really important to move from Romance to Favorite. Feels like a journey from darkness into light, and finishing on Favorite leaves it in a good spot. So maybe that kills my ideas about it being about drug use. I don't know. It's unanimously our favorite tune we've ever written. We haven't played it once so far without kind of lapsing into personally experienced emotions of our own. So within the music video, the video is reminiscent of the past, which I don't always like reading into videos, but I feel like in an album like this, it's not a huge spoiler, and I am curious to know more about what's going on here. We didn't notice, let's see. The videos are reminiscing of the past, of each other's childhoods we didn't know. To see people we know on an intimate level as adults in the tender ages of childhood. We explore where we came from, who on some level still are. See a lot of familiar faces being pulled, and the antics these lads are undertaking in their videos are so disarming and vulnerable to see. I am at times reminded of boyish mannerisms that they've grown out of in the time I've known them, some that they haven't. I feel their souls there. I'd like the video to serve as a way of honoring our friendships, moving from that, the relationships we hold dear, our mothers, fathers, siblings, aunties and uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers, those who we still have, those we've sadly lost. We haven't lost that connection to each other and are not afraid to come of age again, holding on to romance in a sometimes trying world. So that does, I think, confirm what I was thinking just about the album as a whole, is viewing life through a romantic lens, which I think is important. You know, it's very easy to get run down by life. And I don't think it's about necessarily being ignorant to the challenges that life has, but somehow holding on to a purity through life. And I think for the most part, it's something that I feel personally I've been able to do very well, but it's been a hard fought battle, you know, not to let cynicism overtake you, not to grow old and bitter. I want to grow old and better. And I don't want to lose the joy of life. I don't want to lose a playful heart. I think play is important in trying to, and I know personalities are different and everything, but I want to remain playful as a person and adventurous. So I love that idea of viewing life through as romance. Okay. Did you know I can claim the dreamer from the dream? It says maybe a reference to David Lynch's Twin Peaks, The Return. Gordon remembers a dream where Monica Bellucci quotes an ancient Upanishad. We are like the dreamer who dreams and then lives inside the dream. She then questions, but who is the dreamer? The fact that the narrator can indeed claim dreamer from dream suggests a spiritual enlightenment or mature, unique perspective. Fontaines then go on to further reference Lynch in the deluxe edition, which includes In Heaven from the soundtrack of Eraserhead. Yeah, I guess the idea, did you know I can claim the dreamer from the dream? I wonder if that is in some part taking agency over the dream, instead of like stealing the dreamer from the dream. Like I can take hold of that dreamer. I don't know. You've been my favorite for a long time. Going by Connor's description, it might be something we can tell about a loved one we've known for a very long time. We knew him or her all of our lives. We feel like they are our favorite people for most of our life. By envisioning this as death speaking, it might be that she is claiming the life of someone she liked, a favorite of hers, probably due to the fond memories this person created while living. Stitch and fall, the faces rearranged. You will see beauty give the way to something strange. Well, look who's just the newest clown. 35 hours coming down. How the sun shines on new pavement, you don't even feel it. Suggests singer's been on it. See, that's what I was thinking here. Drinking binge. And he is now starting to sober up. Despite this, he's completely numb to his surroundings. So that's what made me really lean toward alcohol or drugs. It's a cry from bed radios, days spent playing football indoors. When they painted town with Thatcher, they never even wanted to know ya. Like, because to me in the song, talking about being on a binge, and then the thoughts of like the simplicity of childhood, it sounded to me like the bitterness of life, you know, and thinking back to being a kid. In my opinion, Singer is highlighting the treatment of the working class people by the conservative government. They, specifically former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. The party and its followers cared more about their own interests, not those of the little guys, so to speak. When they painted the town with Thatcher, they never even wanted to know ya. Not familiar with Margaret Thatcher. Feel alone? I can slip the sunshine through the day, yeah, and stick your heart to everything you say. Somebody said, in my opinion, Grin is reminiscing on those former times he described in the song as he longs to go back to those simpler times. And lastly, did you know cities on return are often strange? Yeah, and now every time you blink, you feel it change. So like you've passed through something, and now when you're coming back through it, it's changed. And it can be this strange feeling. I wonder if that is tied at all to like kind of letting your mind float back to childhood, and then as you kind of come back through life, you realize you're not maybe where you thought you would be. The misery made me another marked man, and I'm always looking over my shoulder, and each new day I get another year older, shoulder bound to the frame of a door, tuned into shape like a stone on the shore. I thought it said chewed, but that makes more sense. It's like the water shapes the stones, right? His experience through his life have molded him. The inexorable ebb and flow of the tides year after year erode and mold roughly honed rocks and stone on shorelines and beaches into smooth round pebbles. That's really beautiful. But if there was lightning in me, then you know who it was for. Love is often described as spark between people. Okay, it's saying if there's this lightning in me, This love, it's for the person. Speaker doesn't need to vocalize his feelings. Subject already knows its intentions. Yeah, man, I think there's still some mystery in that song, but it's kind of, their songwriting, as with a lot of songwriting, it's like, I guess especially more abstract lyrics, it's like you can kind of get the gist of what they're saying without fully knowing all the specifics. And their songwriting, I guess, in just closing comments here, I've really enjoyed their songwriting. It's very thought-provoking, while at the same time, I feel like I can get my arms around it, but it's still something that like makes me want to think more about it, especially in subsequent listens. So I really love the songwriting on this album, and the music is just such an easy and cool listen. I think my favorite songs on the album were some of the more like faster, upbeat ones, even though they still kind of have this chill feel to them. But as a whole, man, I really love this album. Great introduction, I think, to this band, and I'm curious to see their other work as well. So thank you for submitting this one to the Patreon community. And I'm curious to know y'all's thoughts as well. So feel free to leave a thought in the comments. I love having a conversation with you there. And if you want to explore any other content, obviously here on the channel, feel free to do so. But also you can check out Patreon for hundreds of hours of additional content from dozens of artists. And you get to help decide what we listen to next, just like this album. Thanks for hanging out with me for this one. I hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.